Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. Coming up, a Ganzo Two-Fer random knife giveaway, a love triangle between me, a new Civivi, and a new Kaiser, and Kiss, Marry, Kill, Modern Folder Edition. We've done this before. It's always fun to get your impressions of the knives you want to you want a dalliance with, a knife that you want to just have around forever to actually use, and then a knife you could just get rid of. Maybe it's a guilty pleasure, or maybe it's just a knife you're tired of seeing. I know what mine are. I got a bunch of them. I'm sure we all do, but I have one big combo I'll give you in a while. Groundfog, nice to see you, sir. Nice to have you with us. Have a nice day. Also, a pleasure to have you. Good evening, Junkalos, he says. Well, good evening to you, sir. Fernando Salome, nice to have you with us, sir. Evening, Knife Junkies from a rainy road. Oh, yeah? Are you out on the road? Be careful. Be safe. Pump those brakes. Michael Sawyer, nice to see you, sir. Is it 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? It is indeed. You look like you're on the Pacific or Mountain, I guess. Dion Page, nice to have Dion Page with us. Hello, King Junkies. King Junkie, fellow Jim and fellow junkies. I got up early this morning. Apparently, so did I, and started making chili. 'Tis the season. Had supper with my neighbor, and now I'm here to talk knives. Ooh, that sounds so good, man. I love chili. Did you make cornbread? I love cornbread. Chili is kind of a cornbread excuse, just like eggs are a ketchup excuse. Dave, this old sword, nice to have you here with us, sir. Evening, y'all napsters, he says. Well, evening to you. I mentioned that Ganzo Two-Fer giveaway. That'll be #knife. These two beauties were donated to the channel by Dave himself. They are two really cool Gonzos, and I will show them off in a little while. The one on top, I'm calling a desk knife. This almost was beneficiary of my adoption program here at the Knife Junkie podcast. And this one is a very stout version, copy of the Lion Steel SK11 or something like that. I can never remember what that knife is called, but a Lion Steel, we all recognize it. I will show those off later. We will #knife. If you want that, you can drop, if you want this package, I mean, you get both of them. One of them is a desk knife. It has no clip, and it's very kind of Sebenza-oid, very built, overbuilt, very nice knife. If you want these knives, #knife right now. I'm sorry, could you put up Byron's? I saw Byron was there and I was blabbing. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Howdy, Byron. Nice to have you with us. Howdy, Byron. I put your knife number 19 in the mail this very same day. Same with you, Will be. I put your knife number 9, I believe it was, in the mail this very same day. Anyone who asked for a specific number, there were 5 of you, or 6 of you, you got them. Those numbers, I had a number of family members double check. Well, that number is 2. I had 2 family members double check. Will B says, hey, everyone, happy Thursday, you junkies. Bob, Jim, and everyone. Will B, always a pleasure, good sir. Chris, Blade Ogre, hello, y'all, or all. I said y'all. Hello, all. Well, hello to you, Chris. Wonder what those 10 knives are tonight. Will B says, I saw my Nova 1 shipped. Can't wait. Tomorrow, Will, my first order of business is to get the tracking numbers out to all of y'all. I just simply did not have time to do it all today. But tomorrow, the numbers go out and you can obsess on the USPS website. Aberdeen Blades, nice to have you here with us. Happy Thursday night knives, all, he says. Chakabra. Good to have you with us. LP Knife Works. Hola, mi amigos. Hola, amigo. It's very nice to have you here with us. Kepmuk Nessart, who has loaned me some sweet knives, which actually inspired a purchase. I actually made this purchase very spontaneously at a work event that both Jim and I were at yesterday. While Jim was working really hard, I ordered a knife. I was watching him running around, and I was covering the event, meaning my guys that run cameras were, and I had a free moment, so I ordered a Ohio River Jack because I know these things are going away, and it's Ohio River, and all of that, and it's also just an incredibly stout slip joint. I'm kind of slipping back into a slip joint phase beyond Jack Wolf knives, my daily slip joint carry. And it's primarily the Ohio River Jack, which has done it. And so I ordered the natural tan canvas with the Warncliffe blade, full flat ground blade. And just so you know, full disclosure, Jim actually was just saying to me the other day, you got to buy more knives. And I was like, I mean, he sort of said it that way, but I mean, that's how I interpreted what he said. There, I just took his advice. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. Anytime you want to tell me to get more knives, I will be receptive. I promise. Byron says, getting over some sickness. That's right. I hope you're feeling well, man. The shaman belly bite just got about good. Wait. And shaman belly bite just about good. Ready to poke the other side. Oh, I got you. Yes, sir. Yeah. Or, I bet this, I haven't tried it yet. And this is the prototype. But I bet this would ride nicely. I'm loving horizontal carry now. With some 2 soft loops, this would carry really nicely horizontally also. I might actually give that a try. I've been into it, and I have a ton of soft loops. Yeah, I've been carrying, like, right now, I happen to have my, too high up, but I have my 302 on my belt. Forgot I even had it until I started talking about horizontal carry. And this knife carries really nicely horizontally on the front. I'm getting excited about that mode of carry. I just like carrying on the front, period, now, whether it's appendix or sideways like that. Daniel Huff, nice to have you here, sir. The highlight of my week. Greetings, fellow junkies. Daniel, man, you just put wind in my sails, sir. That is thank you for those kind words. Whether they were directly at me or this community that comes here for Thursday Night Knives. Thank you. Joseph S. Nice to have you here with us, Joseph. Good evening, everyone. He says, good evening to you, sir. 5-door. Greetings to you, he says, or greetings, everyone, he says. B. Walsh, nice to have you here, B. Good evening, junkies. I just want to show this one off. This is just on the knife cam to sort of test focus and such, but it keeps catching my eye out of the corner of my eye, and I love this thing. Craig Vincent, nice to have you with us here, Craig. Just showing off the Spartan Blades Les George designed Raider dagger based on the knife that predated the K-bar. The Marine Raiders were carrying these. Howdy, Mike. Nice to have you here with us. Luck Knives made a really cool knife this week, a sort of grooved version of his knife. It reminded me of some of those exotic Japanese chef's knives. LL Coil J, nice to have you here with us, sir. Just talking about this awesome Les George design Spartan made in Taiwan. Awesomeness here, this Raider dagger. Ed Soul, nice to have you here with us. Hey, everyone. Evening, Knife Junkies. Ed Soul, it's a pleasure to have you with us. I have 2 of his knives, or one of them is a collab and the other is a hunting knife. Just over there on I have a little tray. It's kind of a creepy medical tray, white porcelain medical tray, where I put the knives that I need to review. So this week I'm going to be making this weekend I'm going to be making a couple of videos. Those are there, Mr. Ed Soul's knives, and one of them, the collaboration knife, has a funny name. Not funny, interesting, intriguing, and so stay tuned and check out those knives. 666-420, bro. Chur, bro, how's it going? Nice to have you here with us. But what's chur? Let me know, because I'm like, I am an older fellow and I am old-fashioned as well. So chur, I don't know. Is that like nar or yar? I know that those mean no and yes now. Never Enough Knives 007. Nice to have you with us. Hey, junkies. Happy Thursday Night Knives to all. All right, now that this has been shown off, I'm going to put it away and put something else out. I have a bunch of slip joints out and about too. The Pioneer Jack, which I've been carrying a lot, as I'm wont to do when I get a new Jack Wolf knife from Ben Belkin. Addicted to Knives. Nice to have you here with us, sir. Addicted to Knives coming to the Knife Junkie podcast. I'm sensing a theme here, sir. Nice to have you. I got the Ultim one, and I like it. I don't know how much I like it. I love this knife. I like the different sort of grind that you're getting on this knife. It's a little bit more robust. And that being said, it's still thinner than any other knife in your collection, but a little more behind the edge than on some other Jack Wolf knives. The Ultim, I like the color. I like the color. Not so sure about the polish or what. I'm just not totally in love with it. But I love it on this, and I like this whole setup. In other words, like, I wouldn't trade it for the world, you know? Uh, you're my messed up kid, and I wouldn't trade you for the world. It's kinda like that. Not that this is a messed up kid. What I'm saying is, I I think Ultim is great because it's a very resilient and durable, plastic, probably more so than Kieranite and a lot of the other covers you'll find on a traditional knife. I just don't know about the transparency. I think that might be what spooks me a little bit. Will B says, I don't need the tracking number for mine, Bob. I get notified when anything ships to me. I already have the tracking number. Oh, really? That's cool. Cool and creepy. No, I like it. You've got what is it? I've got my ear to the ground. I still got a couple of teeth left in my head and a few friends in town. Macho Blades, nice to have you here with us, Macho. I've been really enjoying watching those neck knives come together. Macho's been putting together some really cool, I don't know, was it 3 or 4 or 5 blade variations on a smaller hold knife, if I'm saying that correctly. It is pretty damn cool. Man, that Ohio knife jack is gorgeous. Yes, I agree. And this one, check out this one here. This one has the double blade. But yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt myself. But go check out Macho Blades on Instagram. You know his work from the podcast, of course, but also the two Kaisers he had, and the cleaver and the shark knife, and but a lot of cool. He just did this dagger project that's super cool. Go check out Macho. Check out his new EDC fixed blades. They're looking really cool. They're kind of in development. This right here, also loaned to me by Kep McNeshart. This is a double-bladed Ohio River Jack. Check this out, Ed. Well, this is the blade I'm getting on the single bladed jack with the natural canvas. This one is a double wide, and yeah, man, they really it is. You know how, like, here we'll look at this. Here's a Great Eastern Cutlery 66, and this is a Stockman. It's got 3 knives in there, or 3 blades in there, and they really go to great lengths to kind of angle them and nestle them together in such a way that they fit in a thinner package. They don't do any of that here at all. They're like, no, we're going to put a big liner down the middle, and that's fine with me. It's a jackknife, jackknife meaning both blades coming from the same end, and this thing is built for hard work. It's a nice knife to grip onto, even when you're gripping over the top of the blade, whether it's the drop point or the Wharncliffe. Now, the Wharncliffe does stand a little bit more proud. I believe some of these are still available on the traditional pocket knives website. I believe there are a couple of the doubles, and they might still have a Wharncliffe, unless I got the last one yesterday. G-Rod Polakowski, nice to have you here, G-Rod. Hey, hope all is well. I hope all is well with you, sir. Thursday, headed into the weekend, things are looking up. I hope things are looking up for you too, G-Rod. Will B says, I've noticed that my handle scales get worn from rubbing my belt buckle. Which handle scales are you talking about on your fixed blades? Wearing them? Okay, you must. Well, you know what? I've been doing this thing where I take my belt buckle and I shove it way over to the side, just to the far edge of my first belt loop, so that my knife can sit as flat as possible on my shirt and doesn't angle out and tent out my shirt. So that system I don't like. I need a belt that's kind of flat. G-Rod says, cut 2 fingers using an Emerson wave from Kershaw. Ooh, and those are sharp out of the box. That's for damn sure. But I'm curious how that happened. I think I might know because I've done this. I did this with the 0630, no, 0620 from ZT. That's a ZT Emerson. That's the Tonto, where I was pulling it out of my pocket, forgot that it was a waved knife that I was pulling out, and it started to wave not on the edge of my pocket, but on the inside, like deep down, and it opened it up just a little bit, and I stabbed my finger like hell, and that hurt very badly. So I learned to sort of remember if I have a wave and then grip the blade as I pull it out if I don't want to wave it open. Have a Knife Day says, you cannot go wrong with the Spartan Blades collaboration dagger, no matter who it is from. That's true. I have the Harsey one also. I'd like to get the other Les George dagger, the V14, or yeah, V14, I think it is. But this and the Harsey will hold me until I get that. 666-420 says chur is New Zealand slang that can mean many, many, many things, but generally always in a positive way. Well, kia ona, sir. I'm glad to hear that. I have it written here. I remember this, though. I actually told my wife, kia ona. Sometimes I find it easier to remember, for instance, unusual names easier than, did he say Steve or Jeff? Like, I just don't remember if he's a Steve or a Jeff, but I definitely will remember you if your name is Marlwalk or Gino. I just will, because those names kind of stand out. Anyway, Hero Stick says, evening and cheers all. Best live of the week. Hero, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome to hear. I know that Jared last night had Tim Kell on last night talking about their new Karambit collaboration. Craig Vincent, nice to have you. Ultram, it's actually Ultem. It's actually Ultem. It's actually unhoused. No, Ultim, no R. Could have been a typo, but if not, I'm just letting you know. I don't know. Transparency is not the natural order of things. I'm with you. Especially me living right outside of Washington, D.C. There's a reason we don't walk around able to see others' internal organs. Dude, Craig, I cannot disagree with you. I think you're right about that. There is something like, I don't like the Ultim on the Civivi Elementum. I don't mind it so much on the Praxis, because the guts of the Praxis kind of look nice. Dave says, think that Ultim looks good in some applications and not others. Looks awesome on my D-Rocket Zulu out the front. I agree. And I've seen it also on Microtex, Ultratex and stuff like that. And it looks really cool on the Ultratex. And you can see the inner workings. Ooh, I think I hear my lady love coming back from her trip. She had a working trip in NY. The LL Coil J says, love, love, love karambits, even when they bite me. I should have pulled out a karambit tonight. I didn't pull one out, but I do have this, which is not a karambit, but kind of fills a similar void. Macho says, just snagged some Ultim, excited to try it. Cool. It's very light too. That's another thing. Very light and very strong. This is not a karambit. It's a Pikal, but I put those two on the same shelf, even though I would rather have one than the other in a bar brawl, let's say. Oh, geez. Well, no, in a life or death situation, or as I hear, gas station knife fight, I'd want one of these. Who says that? Jared says that, I think. But yeah, I love that downward grip. So yeah, nice. Karambits are awesome. Consider a Pikal. They also too are awesome and fun, and leave you feeling very confident as you walk around with it on your belt, because you just kind of know. You kind of know that if you have to go caveman on someone, it's going to be a very, very effective tool. Let me pause for a cup of Joe. So this evening, my younger daughter, eight and three quarters, she will tell you, learned how to make coffee, and I didn't have to even teach her. She wanted to. As I was making coffee, she'd show me everything, and so now I'm like, okay, I'm 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 totally on board with that. And Saturday mornings is the mornings that sometimes I get other people to make me coffee. And if she's the one, she's the one. I'm very happy about that. Okay. All of that being said, I think it's time to get to a pocket check. In my front right, I wanted to do this. In my front right pocket today, I had the 640, the 0640 from Emerson and Zero Tolerance. Emerson knives. This is based on one of Ernest Emerson's early tactical knives called the like the Spec War 5. Is that what it was? Oh man, who remembers what that was? I think it was the 5. But I don't think Spec War was the model. Suddenly it's escaping me. I knew this 5 minutes ago. But anyway, this is a beautiful EDC. A lot of people like to carry this. This is a good crossover knife for people who don't ordinarily like Zero Tolerance and don't ordinarily like Emerson. Or some combination of that. Oh, I like them. I just don't like to carry them. Everyone seems to like these knives, especially if you get rid of the puke green carbon fiber it comes with. And of course, I did that. Got this natural micarta. Wouldn't mind dyeing this maroon, but I'd love to dye pretty much everything maroon. I just love that color. LL Coil J says only have the shivs. Whoa, I love that knife. The shivwork clinch pick is so damn cool. I need to get that in my life, and I just saw it for pretty inexpensive on the secondary market, like 115 bucks, I think. But it didn't come with the trainer. If I'm going to get that one in particular, I want the trainer. Mrs. Junkie would be the greatest threat if you were in a bar. Oh, yeah. Yep. She and I could go back to back out the door and know that we could cut our way out. Speak of the devil. Hello, baby. Welcome home. You're welcome. I love you too. Bye. Yep. Yep, we could go back to back and make it happen. Let's see. Mike says horizontal carried a Steve Ryan Rhino. You have a Steve Ryan, you gangster. That's awesome. You and Edwin are the only two I know who have a Steve Ryan Rhino. That's a cool knife. In K390 Delica, while on a road trip for a few days, stopped in Albuquerque for the night. Oh God, that's nice, man. Also, Condor Pterosaur and Black Fox Evo Tomahawk in my emergency bag. Very cool. That Pterosaur is a cool knife. That's a recent design by Flowers, Mr. Flowers, Johnny, Peter, Ricky, Joe Flowers. Awesome guy. Really cool design, that Pterosaur. With it's a compound ground machete, basically. He made a machete version of it. So anyway, this in the front right pocket. Love that knife. What did I have as a slip joint? Well, for the first day since I got it, I was not actually carrying the Pioneer Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. I was indeed carrying the Venom Jack from Jack Wolf Knives because, as I mentioned before, I was doing the final packaging and addressing and shipping of the Nova ones today, and I needed a Wharncliffe. I already had a clip point, bellied knife covered, and I knew that I was going to need a Wharncliffe for detailed tape stuff, and that's exactly why I picked this one. I love this knife. I love that blade. There's a slight here. I'll put it here, and it'll be easier to see. There's a slight downward angle to the edge of this Wharncliffe, and it makes the cutting really efficient, especially with the tip, excuse me. And then the broadness of the blade itself with that super hollow grind, it just gets thinner than most Jack Wolves behind the blade. Just like I said, this is thicker than most, thicker than all, I believe. This is thinner than most, if not all, behind the blade due to the broadness and the thinness of the grind. But such a nice one. This is one of my few in carbon fiber, and it's that beautiful lava flow. I think it's called lava flow carbon fiber, and I think that this is not a fat carbon. I think this is the camo carbon. I think. I don't know. I got to look it up. Um, I never really cared, but now suddenly I do. I have a feeling I can identify the camo carbon, and okay, that came out of nowhere. I wasn't trying. My fixed blade today, I was in the pocket all day long, and it was the Broadhead by Dirk Pinkerton. This is a beautiful custom, super incredibly sharp little self-defense knife called the Broadhead. And you've got Magna Cut, double edge, comes to just a sickening point and edge. You can see Dirk's logo. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Dirk's logo there. And just, a very nice self-defense option. Great to hold. This is my favorite carry right here, like this. But Dirk himself likes it like this. He's got bigger, thicker fingers than I do. So this to me is not as comfortable in reverse grip, but you can also hold it like a push dagger. It's just a great knife. And with that ring, you can tug it out of the sheath really easily. And if you do, and you tug it out with that ring finger or with that forefinger and just make a fist, you're a menace. And it takes very little to get that to breach whatever it's hitting. It's so thin, so sharp. That Magna Cut. And then lastly on me, I had this just for the action. This was my emotional support knife today. My ESK was the Mad Tonto. This thing came ridiculously smooth, and just with every flip, and it gets flipped a lot. With every flip, it gets smoother. Today I had with me this knife, but I also had my where is it? My Orion Knives carry case with 3 other button locks, just because I've been into them lately. Really into fidgeting with them, playing with them. This is the Watuaga or the Watuga, and the Sencut. This is my least favorite of all of them. I love the knife. I love the blade. It's everything about it is great, except it just has a little bit of lock stick, A, and B, takes too much. You got to push the button in too far. And I know a lot of people like that because it makes it more secure in their eyes. To me, it just makes it a pain in the tuchus. So I had that. Wow, this is a lot of. So these weren't all on me, but the case was with me because I knew I was going to be fidgeting. This was another one I had on me. Of course, the large pyrite. Absolutely love this knife, man, more than I even expected. I love the regular pyrite. Gave that away as a gift to a friend, and knowing I wanted to get the large anyway. And I just love it. And I love the color of this micarta. It's a forest green. It's a nice, it's a bluer green. It's a preppier green than we're used to seeing on micarta. And I like it, that's kind of how I grew up, So I love that color. It reminds me of a jaguar. I don't mean it like that. I just mean I like that color in particular. It seems like when I was growing up, I had sweaters that color. I had a lot of stuff that color. I think sometimes it's called Loddon. Anyway, I had that on me, flipping it. That AR RPM 9. Cool thing about this blade is that it's the same width as if I'm correct, it's the same width as the what did I do there? A little schmutz, as the small size, but like almost twice as broad. So thinner behind the edge, even slicier than the old one. Not the old one, but the original. And then last on me or with me today was the Sentinel Strike by Civivi, and I've just been so hooked on this knife. The many different ways to open it. Well, not that many, but you got the thumb stud, you got the thumb hole, you got the thumb stud or the finger stud, you got the finger hole, you got the flipper, you got the button lock, and you've got this sound. I'm going to do this in front of the mic, hoping. No, never works. You can never get it to work. But anyway, what I mean is I can never get knife sounds to come through the microphone. You lose something about the character, but there's a little metallic ting to this knife that I like because it's an aluminum frame. All right. All of this is what I had with me today. And I guess I had more too in my bag, but we're just going to call it right here. What were you guys carrying? Let me know. And I'm not looking to join the 10 knife a day club. But I got to say, I do love carrying a little carry case with other knives that I can fidget with if need be. Grim Reaper, Spyderco Ronin. I love that knife. That was my carry last Thursday night during the show because I have to remove all my carry to show you. So I put something else on. And that's actually frequently what I have on me because it's a great knife. It's light and it rides well in anything you're wearing. LL Coil J says, been carrying the Spyderco Warren Thomas Karambit. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that's cool. I forgot he designed because they make two Karambits, and I know which one you're talking about. That's the one that has, I think, a better hole alignment. B. Walsh says, today I carried my Zonto, your Umnum Zontanto. I like that. I have a Zonto. And with a J2H backspacer. Okay, you lost me there. What's J2H? And Lynch. Okay, must be just an aftermarket company. And a Lynch deep carry clip along with a laid back jack in purple Kironite with my new matching Northwoods leatherwork slip. Ooh, very nice. I need to up my game with the leather slips. Maybe as the Ohio River Jack comes in, maybe I'll get something. I also want to get a Rosecraft slip joint. If I feel I'm entering this slip joint phase, which I'm feeling it, I might have to go for a Rosecraft now. And I really like that really weird looking one. It's kind of ugly, but I like it. And you all probably know it looks like. It has a spay blade, kind of downward angled. Can't remember what it's called. But I love all the red colored bone they have. Pedro Armstrong, nice to have you here, Pedro. Howdy. At work, just dropped in to like and say hey. Oh my God, I love that. I love being played at work. How nice. Take this job and shove it. No, I'm just kidding. I am actually really kidding, and I'm very grateful for my job, and we should all be very grateful for our jobs. So don't lose your job listening to me and this prattle. You can come back and listen to it later. Have a great night, sir. Dave says, today's carry, the Kaiser Militar, the Concept Colibri Tech. What's that? The Compliance Edge. I love this knife. I've been lusting after this knife in black for years now. And now Tomas Alas got one. Now you've got one. Ugh, you guys keeping up with the Joneses. Okay, the Compliance Edge DCK. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. It's dope. In bronze in 3V. The Terrain 365 Invictus ATB in Terravantium. Very nice. That Invictus is a beautiful looking knife. And that design got play elsewhere. Oh, in kind of a Valley song, I think he made also. Titanium carbon fiber and the Olight Seeker 4 Pro. As usual, really awesome carry. I know that Kaiser Militar, people are loving it. That's cool to hear. Oh, is the Colibri Tech the big giant concept with the sort of bellied sheep's foot blade? That's kind of a cool one. But Dave, you got, and I just recently got something that's a nice big knife that I'm going to show off in a minute that I love. Oh, I'm so psyched. Blade Ogre says, carrying the Sniper LPC, the Rosecraft French Broad, the Giant Mouse REO, the John Demko Riverwolf, the ZT0308, the Mercator Black Cat, the GEC Granddaddy Barlow, the TRM Atom, the LT Wright Genesis, the Puma Whitetail Cheese Man, and the Sleazy Ogre. First of all, I mean, it's obvious you always carry a lot of knives. It's not that. What a selection. Holy mackerel. All the way to a Puma Whitetail, like from a Sniper LPC to a Puma Whitetail, and everything in the middle. Everything in between, like the Mercator. I've always wanted one of those. I mentioned that last week. They're like, just spend the $27 and get one. Yeah, I know. I should. A Mercator Black Cat. Remember, Bob, remember next time you're on Amazon. That's one of those things you can slip in there when you're buying dog food. 666-420 says, today I've got the Cold Steel Recon 1 and the Olight Warrior 3. Very nice. And a Finding Beard Comb. Did I pull out my beard? Oh, okay. I didn't. I was selecting some slip joints and I was looking at the hipster beard comb GEC. Should have pulled it out. Chicken Snake, nice to have you here. Chicken Snake, carrying my go-to beater, Emerson Sachs. Like, I don't want it to be, but it is my favorite Emerson. It is the one that I grab without thinking. The other ones, I'm like, oh, I should carry this. And then I get myself into carrying it. But the Sachs, man, I love it. Even though it's not my favorite ergonomically, something about that knife is just awesome. Nice beater. Hero Stick says, drop and Gareth Bull Mura in Rosewood. I checked that out. Hero Sticks loaned that one to me a while ago. That is a beauty. That is a real beauty. Actually, that Gareth, to me, I like that better than the Chamois. Was that his thing? Chamois? That Mura. Mura is a, quit playing with the mic. I will. Sorry. The Mura, or a Mura, is a type of fighting bull. And I know that because in the 60s, the Lamborghini Mura was a really beautiful car. And I happened to read about that car, and all of those, or many of the Lamborghinis, are named after breeds of fighting bull. Not all of them, but some of them. And Mura was one of them. So kind of cool. Anyway, all that being said, dropping Gareth Bull, Mura in Rosewood, and from Sheffield, England, a Taylor's Eye Witness Barlow in Ironwood. Very nice. Feeling autumn here in the Pacific Northwest. Very cool. I like that. Taylor's Eye Witness Barlow. I see those on Patty's channel. He has a few of those. Will be. I had the Hinderer XM24 Battlefield Pickup Sponto. Very, very, very nice. The Ferrum Forge Knife Works, Allurus, the Spyderco Shaman, the Meat and Boss Oil Slick. Wait. Sorry. Spyderco Shaman with Meat and Boss Oil Slick Zirconium scales. I don't know. I bet they're cool as hell, though. Civivi Incisor 2, Kubi Nova Titanium. Nova. What's this? No, I'm just kidding. I saw that. I was like, oh, yeah, another knife called the Nova. The Axial Shift and the Vanderer Fenrir. Man, again, a really nice carry from the Hinderer, from the Hinderer to the Fenrir, from the Titanium Kubi to the Ferrum Forge. I mean, very nice spread. Very nice spread, Will. Byron says, Carrie was the Belly Stickin' Shaman, Big Brown Bear 15V, the Old Timer 123 Jack in J.O. Ventures Outdoor Slip, and Off-Grid All Day Necker. That's pretty much your everyday, is that Off-Grid. I know you love carrying that. Kep McNessart says, today I am carrying the LT Wright Camp Muck, the Giant Mouse Ace Clyde, the Jack Wolf Knives Pioneer Jack DLC and Jig Tie. Very nice. And the Wingard Wearables Quill. I grit my teeth and say very nice because the next one I'm going to get titanium. Dion Page says, Recon 1 Tonto, Spike Tonto. Oh, I have all my neck knives in a new spot, and now I can see all of them. The Case Double X Small Fixed Hunter, and the Swiss Army Knife Evo Grip. Very nice. Spike Tonto. a classic. Never Enough Knives 007 today was carrying the Manix 2XL, the Cold Steel Tylite, and the Copus Elvia. Solid carry. Solid carry. Yeah, very nice. Jay McConnell, yours is also in the mail, sir. Evening, junkies. Carrie was a TRM Atom with Amboina Burl. Okay. Evening, junkies. Carrie was a TRM Atom with Amboina Burl scales, and a version 1 laid back Jack, a Warney Deca. Oh, very nice. I'm glad they don't make that Deca any larger. I would have to get it. But I've been able to avoid getting a Deca for this long. Craig Vincent says, Airlight drop point. Oh, okay. That's the cold steel, right? Airlight drop point front pocket, 8010 right cargo pocket, fake 8020 in real titanium. Wait, what? Fake 8020 in real titanium front left pocket, real 8020 .5 cargo pocket, XL Voyager back right pocket, range boss back left. Okay, first of all, Craig, I like the cut of your jib with all of these well, frankly, Demco design knives. But what's the fake 8020? Do you mean like it's a counterfeit 8020? Haven't heard or seen those yet. Didn't know they were doing that. But of course they are. What am I thinking? Joseph S. says, Hogue Deca Scorpion Warncliffe Magnica. What's the scorpion part? Essie Azula and A. Wright Barlow Sheepsfoot and Ebony Wood. That sounds nice. Joseph, what's the scorpion? Deca, Hogue Deca Scorpion. I mean, I know everything in that sentence, and I know what a scorpion is, but how does it relate to the knife? Greg Maroney, nice to see you here, Greg. What's up, y'all? He says. 5-door McNeese Mac 2 Tonto. That's a cool knife. The evening, the Keenis and Fido arrived. Very, very nice. Those Fidos are beautiful. I love the look of those knives. Again, I'm grateful it's not larger, or I'd be obligated to buy it. Craig Vincent says it was pretty much a Demco day. Yeah, lots of those around here. Lots of those Demco days around here. All right. Still, okay, let's get up that hashtag knife. We have, let's say, 17 minutes until we give these knives away. Keep me honest, Jim, as you always do anyway, with the time. We want to give these knives away at 11 o'clock. Let me show you around these knives real quick. Craig Maroney says, oh, the Kaiser Veritas, the Miguron Valona, and the Effengro EF905. Now, that's the one I just can't get behind Effengro. They just rip off too many designs, man. And as I say that, I'm going to show off Gonzo. And I guess with Effengro, it's a new brand, not new, but a new to me brand that I haven't been exposed to yet. So I'm sure I'll leave it that way. But these anyway are from Dave, This Old Sword Blade Reviews. These are some really nice Gonzos, another company that appropriates designs, but man, they build them very, very well. So in this large box of giveaway knives that Dave sent me a while ago, these were in there. They're boxless, but they are really nice. So this is a G10 and Axis lock version of the Lion Steel SR11, I believe it's called SR11. And it's hard for you here. I'll hold this up, see if it comes through, but that milling on the G10, those grooves that kind of radiate from a point way off over here, feel really good in hand and are great texture. The whole knife itself is a nice sort of bookending here and is just melts in your hand. This is perfectly placed. That deep carry pocket clip is perfectly placed to fit in the palm without feeling it. It's got a very low profile, but I would imagine effective glass breaker there, that if you need to put your thumb on the butt for whatever reason, does not really hurt or interrupt. The Axis style lock here, this bar lock, is a bit stiff. Those springs are pretty strong, but all things considered, especially with what we know about Omega springs, uh, that's probably a good thing. It's 440C stainless steel. And man, this is a workhorse. Also, by the way, Dave, every knife he sends me is screaming sharp. I have a feeling he bought these Gonzos to practice sharpening on, because we know Dave, and he's a very inquisitive collector. But you know, I don't think he does too much in the way of collecting Gonzos. So I have a feeling he bought these to sharpen the hell out of them and to check them out. Probably got some videos out of them too. Now, the other knife coming in this Two-Fer Gonzo giveaway is this is the knife that inspired the two-fer nature of this giveaway. And by the way, I hate that term, and I'm sort of disgusted with myself for using two-fer. So I'm gonna go all the way. This is sort of a desk knife or a pouch knife because it does not have a clip. And the funny thing is I had this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, I had this for months and months before I realized it didn't have a clip. It sat on my shelf with the other giveaway knives, and I would pick it up quite a bit and marvel at how nice it is. It feels very solid. It's got really, really nice washer action, that sort of smooth hydraulic oiled glass feeling. And it's got a very nice look, a classic clean look. For some reason, it reminds me a little bit of a Sebenza, though it's not actually that Sebenzoid. Um, but feels great in hand. Contoured G10, scales proud, very sharp. Also 440. Oh no, this is 9CR18 MOV. So I think that is like Chinese 440, if I'm not mistaken. And just a great knife, a knife you might keep on your dresser or on your desk or something, because it does not have the pocket clip. Sorry, I keep my hands off. And that's what we're giving away. Who wants these two awesome knives? This would be good in the truck or in your car, in the door, that pouch on the door, um, where stuff falls and all that. This would be a good one to keep there, because you've got a glass breaker. And if you ever need it, you can break your way out of your car. And if you ever leave the house and forget a knife, boom, you got a knife. And there it is. And this would be great to have in the car, because it is a very robust and capable knife. And if you needed, if you were broken down and for whatever reason you needed some heavy duty tool like that, this would be, I think it would keep you in good stead. And yeah, so let's do this. Let's do this in about 12 minutes. We'll give these suckers away. So hashtag knife in the comments. That's hashtag knife in the comments. All right, so we are going to do a little Kiss, Marry, Kill Modern Folder Edition. We've done this before. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Never Enough Knives 007 says, packing tonight to take my 11-year-old nephew on his first camping trip this weekend. How cool. I've got the BPS. Oh, that's a great one. That Ukrainian outdoor knives, the BPS B1, the Mora Companion, the JK Knives Kephart, the Schrade Bolo. That's an awesome one. That you got me, and it's hanging right over there, upside down, of course. The Marbles Camp Axe and the Silky Gomboy. What is that? What is that? But yeah, this is all awesome. This sounds like fun, man. What kind of camping is it going to be? Are you deep woods or like a campground? I don't do much of any of it. So Jekyll to what? Oh, J2H, Jekyll to Hyde. Okay, so this is the scales we're talking about. That's cool. LP Knifeworks says Yo Jumbo Sprint Run with tie. Ooh, show scales for me. S90V spiciness. I love the S90V. I love the Yo Jumbo and the whole tie thing. I would love to have tie scales for either that or the Yo Jimbo, definitely. Maybe even more the Yo Jimbo, because I've got carbon fiber handles that are kind of Daniel Huff says, carrying the same old steel Victorinox Adventurer and the Spyderco Endura in K390. How's that patina coming on the K390? All right, I gotta jump ahead and show something off here. Burnt Toast, nice to have you here, sir. Evening, junkies and junkettes. I have a Copper Creek custom stainless Damascus pocket fixie. Very nice. A Case Sodbuster Jr. in purple bone. Ooh, that sounds nice. And a Civivi Chevalier I bought on lunch break because I have a problem. Yes, I know about the lunch break problem. I suffered it today. Actually, it was pre-lunch break, and that was yesterday. But I was asking you about the K390 patina. I got to show this off. Jumping ahead, this is a new knife that I got that I've been wanting for a while, and it seems like they were sold out for a short bit, and they are back, and I love this thing. This is the Paul Munko designed Kaiser Mystic. Mystic referring to Mystic, Connecticut, where Paul is from. And this whole knife is a tip of the hat to the whaling history and that sort of industry in New England back in the day. And it's got a harpoon blade, harpoon. And it's not just a play on words. It's not just being a on the nose sort of thing. That harpoon blade has a nautical feel to it. The whole knife to me has a maritime feel to it. Now, I don't know if I would think that if I didn't know the inspiration, but knowing the inspiration, it does. The way that linen micarta is starting to darken where my hands touch it, the gray titanium, and then this really incredible steel, the Rex 45, which has incredible edge retention and patinas. It's already starting here. I used it for a little bit of meat cutting. I'm very excited to see the patina on this set in. The whole knife itself, the whole design will really, really sort of tap into that nautical thing, that whaling thing. And I really love it. I love New England. I love especially coastal New England. My sister used to live there. I've spent some time there and in different spots. And there's something, there's a mystique around that period of time in the United States when everyone was just trying, I don't know, for a common goal. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's an idealized vision for me, but the old days, the old West and the old East, the whaling and Moby Dick and New England and all that. This just taps into that is what I'm saying. I love this knife. It's absolutely beautiful. So when I was talking about the K390, it made me think of this and I had to bring it up. And also just the most sickening drop shot action since the Kaiser Towser K. I mean, this has Towser K action, if not better. And it's a good looking knife closed. I love the ergonomics. Everything about this knife I am into. Bolster lock even. I love it. So does anyone out there have this? I know Dave has this. Anyone else? And do you love it as much as I do? It's also incredibly sharp. My God, man. These companies just sending these knives out so incredible, irresponsibly sharp. No, I'm just kidding. Really, really nice. So very, very excited about this knife. I've been carrying it and flipping it and playing with it ever since I got it. Mark Salva, nice to have you here, Mark. CRKT Spew Necker, love that knife. That's a what's his name design? Miguron Tuxedo Moiral. The Swiss Army knife Spartan and my Spyderco Sage 5. Love that knife. Good evening, knife junkies, he says. Alan Foltz, Spew Necker. Sorry, I couldn't let it go with that guy. Calibri Tech is a K Max ROM design. Oh, huh. I love K Max ROM designs. I'm gonna have to check it out. I have two K Max ROM concepts. both called Pelican, but two. No. Actually, one's a Pelican and one's the Preta 2. Craig Vincent says, anybody know? I'm sorry. Anybody know the Browning USA 4018? I went to a pawn shop today to unload some music gear and spotted the Browning. I don't know anything about it, but I got it for $20. No, describe it. 4018, is that a slip joint or is that like a fixed blade hunting knife? $20 seems reasonable for most. Well, maybe that's maybe I shouldn't say that, but Snow Trag, nice to have you here, Snow Trag. What I was gonna say is, if you're at a pawn shop and you see a Browning and it seems nice and it's $20, you're probably coming out all right. Snow Trag says Vero Mini Axon, the Herman Sting, and the Renegade Gungnir in my bag. That's a cool knife, and he was a nice guy from Renegade. An Ohio boy there, and that knife is pretty big, pretty damn robust. I like that thing a lot. Fernando Salome said Bastinelli knives, big Dragotac, and the broadhead, very nice. So Fernando himself, I will stop, was carrying this. Love it. I love it. Such a great one. Dion Page says, never enough knives 007. Outstanding, brother. I'm headed up to the UP, that's the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, presumably, on Saturday for a trip into the bush for a few days or more. Watch out for Sasquatch. And taking my SE5, SRK 3V, Wooks Axe, SOG Saw, Swiss Army Knife Evo Grip, Canik TP 9DA, and a 300 Win Mag for all of the cryptid activity in the Upper Peninsula. Dion, both of you guys have fun, man. I'm just playing, but have fun. That just sounds awesome. I'm jealous. Not envious, just jealous. Chris S says Cold Steel SR1 Light. Love mine. I love my SR1 Light. And that was the first knife we gave away as a Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway knife. Benchmade 945. That's like the 940, but with the clip point blade. And in my opinion, a way cooler knife. And the Case Sodbuster. I do love the Case Sodbuster. Power Play for Real says, hey, knife people. Well, Power Play for Real, it's good to have you here, man. Macho Blade says, holy smokes, I typically carry 2 knives on me, a folder and a fixed blade. Looks like I need to step up my game. That's funny, Macho. We do know that Chris is a pretty big guy and has a lot of pockets on him. And, you know, like me today, I had a whole bunch. I had 8 or something like that, but they weren't all on me. Only 3 of them are really ever on me. Hero Stick says, anyone get their hands on Brian Brown's new Corvus? I don't know, but I do love Brian Brown's knives. That Ganzo is killer, says Dion Page. Well, Dion, hashtag knife, baby. You only got a minute and you only have a minute to hashtag knife it. Which one were you talking about? Is it this one? I really like this one too. I think it's pretty nice. And as a matter of fact, with a lanyard and a bead, you could drop this in your back pocket or in your front pocket with the bead coming over, and you don't really need a clip. It'll stay oriented north to south with a little bead and a fob. Joseph S says the Deca Scorpion is a gold and black marble carbon fiber. Ooh, very nice. Okay. So Scorpion like edition from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Exclusive. Very nice. Power Play for Real says it's a good looking budget knife and they use good 440C at Gonzo. I've had good. I mean, I have one Gonzo that I've used and beaten up, and it's been awesome. Dion Page says I'd definitely EDC that for a year. Dion is angling. Dion, let's man. You have shown the most interest. Fingers crossed, sir. Byron Kennedy says kudos to This Old Sword blade reviews as always for the donos. Yeah, no doubt. That man is a generous person with great taste in knives. So he gives me a lot of cool knives to give away. Look at that. It's 11. Time to give these knives away. Mark Salva says, Ultim looks great on my Deca. Unique and organic. Very nice. Yeah, like amber, like out of a tree. And then, out of a tree a million years ago, I guess. Craig Vincent says, yes, counterfeit from China. Somebody I know got burned on eBay and traded the fake 8020 to me for a code 4. It's scary how close it looks to a real Demco. Demco had to change their packaging. Damn. So, Craig, feel wise, is the feel the same? Never Enough Knives 007 says Silky Gomboy is an awesome folding saw. We've been through this. I asked you this before. I do listen. I swear. I just don't retain always. We are camping at a friend's farm. There's a stockyard pond, 30 acres of woods, and lots of wildlife. That sounds so idyllic and peaceful and beautiful. Man, I love it. Hero says, love the Mystic. Want to get my hands on the Kaiser Militar too. Yes, yes. I got to say, the Mystic is my pick of recent knives, especially from Kaiser. I'm so digging it, and I'm a sucker for a double peak. He's calling this a harpoon blade, and yeah, it is, but it's also a double peaked clip point, and I love a double peak clip point. So, boom. All right, let's do this, shall we? Put these knives on the table here under the knife cam. There's that, and then there's this. Who will get it? And please, please, please send your address to TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. That's where I accept addresses, please. If you win this, let me know what it is. I don't want to not send you your knives. That has happened before. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Who will it be? Now, they do the little tease where they slow down, and you're just not sure where it's going to go. We have a lot of people. A lot of people. Oh, come on. Give me a break. Dion, this is pretty cool because before I said, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. You were talking about how much you wanted the knife, how you would carry it for a whole year, which now you have to do. And I said, I'm pulling for you, even though I'm pulling for everyone. But geez, you did say a lot of stuff about these knives, and then you win. Who's got the best live on Thursday night? No, I'm just kidding. It's not me. It's the random numbers. But man alive, these are yours, Dion. Lucky dude. That's awesome. You know what? Five. No. Was it 5-door? Yes. No. Yes. 5-door also won twice recently. Something. I don't know. Something in the air. Nicely done, guys. So, Dion, congratulations. I will get those out to you. I have your address. Dion winner. Okay, just in case I have a late night whiskey and cigar, I want to remember. Okay, Byron says, kiss Kaiser. Oh, yes. Okay, kiss Kaiser Mystic. Marry Kaiser Gunhammer. And kill Kaiser Assassin. Every model. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I like how you did that all in the same brand. Daniel Huff says there's just something beautiful about the patina look. I agree. The K390 antiques well. Okay, so here is my I hope Rex 45 antiques well. I like the way you put that. Here's my kiss carry kill. Wait, Dion Page says, my buddy has the rifle and big feet are friends, not food. Wait, my buddy has the rifle and big feet are friends, not food. The Canic is for bears and cats. Thanks, Bob. You got it, man. Enjoy the cats. Holy mackerel. That's an animal you don't know about until you're getting choked out with 4 fangs in your neck. They don't let you know they're there, do you? Okay, so Kiss is the I actually just changing this right now, like in the spur of the moment. I'm changing the whole thing. And Kiss is the And I'm going with only knives that I have, because otherwise this could get out of control. So for me, Kiss is the Arcane Designs Antimatter. That's the double-edged double-edged dagger. And I left it. So unfortunately, because I'm changing things here, my Mary is the RSK Mark One. Any RSK Mark One from Hogue and Ritter, and then my kill is the Gerber Paraframe. If the Gerber Paraframe disappeared from not only like the world, just period, and the future, but disappeared even from the past, and we didn't have to suffer even past sort of injustices by the Gerber Paraframe, I would be amenable to that. I know it's not always safe to go back and meddle with the past, but I don't know. In this case, it's okay. Jay McConnell says, I'm in the Northeast and couldn't avoid ordering the Mystic. Still on back order, but I can't wait. The Freakonomics podcast had an amazing series on the history of U.S. whaling. Well worth the listen. Yeah, I used to listen to Freakonomics. I haven't heard that in a long time. Very cool podcast about whaling. I remember listening to one about money that was fascinating. That was probably one of their first ones. The Kent McNessart says, I am pretty sure the Browning is a Gil Hibben design. Gil Hibben. I like Gil Hibben. He's dangerous. Always walking the edge. And frequently falling over into fantasy realm. But the guy was not only a great knife maker and designer, but also a Kempo multiple black belt in Kempo karate and friends with Ed Parker, and designed a couple of Kempo knives that I've always kind of lusted after. So he had at least a glancing knowledge, if not something a little bit deeper, of the Filipino martial arts, because Ed Parker did a bit of that. There's a little bit of stick work in Kempo karate, and ergo a little bit of knife work. But again, they're like most karate or most traditional systems, even though Kempo isn't really that traditional, but built out of a traditional system where they wait till the very end. Now that you're a black belt, now here's a weapon. It's like, I like the way the Filipinos do it. It's like, oh, you can walk, here's a weapon. And learn your footwork, by the way, or the weapon won't work. Mark Salva says, Knife Center has a nice exclusive large pyrite. I saw that today with the titanium bolsters in black micarta. Very nice. I wish they would come out with the Warncliffe XL. I'd be all over it quite quickly. Dion Page says, I had the celebration typed before I won. That's funny. You still have my address? Yeah, I must. If I don't, I will. Yes. If not, I'll send you a message on Patreon or something. Nomadic Adventures. Nice to have you here, Nomadic. I want Knife Junkie knife. When are they available? Which one? The Nova ones, which were pre-order. They all went out today. So this one is we might do another run of the Bowie, but before we do another run of the Bowie, we're going to do a run of the Nova 2s, which will be the same size, same handle, Warncliffe blade. But that's not going to be for a while. But I do have something else interesting and exciting in the works with Tim Kell and T. Kell Knives. I'll say it because he talked about it yesterday on Jared Neves Live. So everybody knows. Anyone who watches that show, and there's a lot more of them watching that show than there are watching this show. So people know I'm doing something with Tim Kell. It's very exciting and very cool. LL Coil J says, kiss my wife, Carrie Emerson. Okay. Kiss my wife, Carrie Emerson folding karambit, kill all enemies. I like that. LL, I like that. Will B says, kiss Spyderco Manix 2XL, marry Grimsmo Norseman, and kill Winter Blade Factor. But it sounds so cool. Why that? That's kind of cool, and it's innovative. It's different, at least. I'm not second guessing you. I like. See, I like how people are doing this. Okay, so Ketmuk, kiss the Nesmuk, marry the Kephart, kill every fixed blade with a sawback. Even Rambo, or are they grandfathered in just because they're cool? Craig Vincent, the Browning is a trailing point hunter, 4-inch blade. It looks to be vintage 70s or 80s. Cool. Great condition. I just saw 2 on eBay, both going for $100 to $150. This is also a folder version. Very cool. A folding hunter. Love the folding hunters out there. Let me show you something cool. Two cool GECs. I've sort of neglected my GECs of late, but since I'm back in a slip joint phase and going at it, or not going at it, but starting to ramp up, let me show you these two beauties. These are 2 classic jackknives here. Since you were talking about the folding hunter, I'll start with this one first. This is big. This is, I think, one of the biggest Great Eastern cutleries out there. This is what number is it? The 98, I think. Hang on. Let me go there first. To this beautiful spay. This has the most beautiful spay blade ever. This is, the 23 5220. Okay, so this is the model 23. I guess the 98 is also very, very large, but this one, man, it's huge. And it is their take on the Remington bullet knives. And this one is in this beautiful bone. Now I can't remember what they call this bone, but it's got a sort of mauve and sort of warm brown dye in it. It's beautiful with these double fluted nickel bolsters here and 2 blades. Look at this spay blade. I mean, never has a spay blade looked so beautiful as it does right here, in my opinion. And that said, I honestly think that the other people who make the best looking spay blades are Rough Rider. Look at this spay blade. Holy crap, that's beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. That will take the nuts off of any farmyard animal. Lickety split. Look at the downward angle of that. I mean, with a backward grip. Come here. But this also has a very nice one. And it also widens out towards the belt, the tip ever so slightly. And the walk and talk. I'm going to do this over here in front of the mic. It's just so good. So here's the other blade. I have never patinaed this. I don't think I've even carried this knife. It is a big, big knife for a slip joint. Now, this one I would carry in a belt, some sort of a belt thing, a leather belt sheath. So a trapper, not really a folding hunter. My folding hunter is a Boker, and it's upstairs, but it's also a double-bladed. A folding hunter looks like this. Here's another... here's a folding hunter. This is the blade set from a folding hunter in a copper lock body, basically, or not copper lock, but a copper head body. This is from Rough Rider. So you got your clip point blade. These are 420 blades, pretty nice. I mean, for light use. And then that, whatever that is, I don't know what that is. It's sort of a California clip, but with a swedge. But it's the kind of blade you see on a folding hunter besides the clip point. So this is not a folding hunter. This is what did I call it? A trapper, but a nice big trapper. And then this jackknife, I have 2 of these. I got my brother one with the tortoise shell here because he's the guy who turned me on to this material years ago, tortoise shell. So I got him one of these, and I got myself one, and then they also came out with an autumn jig bone, and I got that one for myself too because that's my favorite bone. But just a gorgeous jackknife from Great Eastern Cutlery. What is the number on this now? I forget. This is that's right, the 86. Now they did the oil field jack in the 86. They've used this pattern quite a bit. I think most recently they've done a harness jack. It's a great size. It's a nice big size jackknife. But look at that. Look at the gorgeous blade, that downward angled blade with a little bit of recurve that you sharpen through with much use and resharpening. And that was the philosophy behind the recurve in the Nova 1. You eventually sharpen through that. You still have a nicely shaped and bellied Bowie style blade. But this with that downward cant just makes this an incredible cutter. Nicely thin. And this secondary blade, which is a sheep's foot, Five Door says, kiss the DSK kickstand, marry the XM18 3.5, and kill all Spyderco lightweights with pin construction. I hear that because that awesome S110V Mannix that Shane sent me, I would love to put that in a different handle, though I want to keep it the same because that's the knife he sent me. But let me just finish this real quick. This sheep's foot blade here is nice and long. So even when you're gripping it with that clip point blade, that little coping or that little sheep's foot blade, still very easy and nice to work with and use. So these things are awesome. So Jim, can you put up what you were what was just up? I was LP Knife Works. Kiss the EXO from Riot Knives. Marry the Yo Jumbo. Yes. Kill all slip joints. What are you talking about, man? Jeez. How rude. I'm only showing off slip joints right now. I'm only waxing poetic about slip joints. So really, kill all slip joints? What? Wait a second. What about the ones that your dad carried or your grandpa carried or your grandma carried, or what about Swiss Army knives? Those are slip joints. You want to get rid of those too? Nomadic Adventure says, I cannot be a subscriber. You broke my heart, Bob. How dare you? With what? How did I break your heart? I forgot now. See, that's the problem. I'm a selfish guy. I can't even remember why I break these hearts. Just follow the trail of broken hearts and you'll find me. Oh, the giveaway? Oh, I'm sorry, man. Thanks, Jim. Jim keeps me on track. Thank you, Jim. Sorry, I didn't mean to break your heart there, buddy. But I've been doing a lot of these random giveaways, so there will be plenty more in the future. So remain a subscriber, and you could be the next winner. Hero Stick says, kiss the J Cape. Yeah, that J Cape. At least the one you loaned me was incredible. In full tie flame anno, that was the one. Married TRM Adam. Yes. It's like J Cape to bed, TRM Adam to wed. That's what they used to say. I had two sister schools. I went to a boys' school, and there were two sister schools that we had to choose from. And depending on which school you liked or where your girlfriend went, it was one to wed and the other to bed. Anyway, American Blade Works Model 1 V6 close second to the TRM Atom. Okay. And kill the Miguron Ackery only because I took it apart to clean and cannot eliminate the blade play that resulted. That sucks. That's not good. Miguron. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had the Ackery. We gave it away. I'm not sure. Did we give it to you or did you win that? But I really liked that knife, but I don't know much about Miguron. Will B says, I just never carry my Factor. That's a good one. I bet you could get some decent cash for that. Double-edged hawk deadlock. Jay McConnell's kiss is double-edged hawk deadlock. Yes, sir. Marry the Oz Rosie. Kill the Medford Praetorian. Jay shows a level of class that I like to associate with here on the show. That was a good combo there. Dion says, that's the best bullet knife I've seen. What a beast. Yeah, no kidding. That was one of those very lucky. I don't even go for GECs anymore. I mean, they came out with with one of these not too long ago. This is a Rough Rider with a cotton sampler. I didn't even try. Like, they're sold out, but I can't sit there and hit refresh. Gorgeous tortoiseshell, says Dion. I agree. I love tortoiseshell, and this tortoiseshell here is very nice. Obviously it's imitation. I don't even think you have to say that anymore, but people still do. But this has very nice depth. So you can tell the difference between this, say, and this, a Rough Rider with cheap stuff. So you can see through to the liner on this. I'm not sure if it's coming through here, but on this you can't, because it's cloudy and layered. So yeah, this is a fun knife. It's fragile. It's Italian. Dion Page says, kiss the Yo Jumbo, marry the cold steel, and kill all bug outs. Nice. So which cold steel to marry? I'm curious. Oh, Dion, you're a Recon 1 guy, aren't you? I think. Dion says, I take it back. Kiss the Nova 1, marry the cold steel. Hey, very nice. Good answer. Craig says, my life is getting weird, Bob. I put 14 knives up for sale today because I have so many, yet I still managed to buy one. Well, Craig, you're honing your vision, Craig. You're honing your vision. This does not come overnight. This comes usually, like the rest of life, through trial and error. And as you go, you learn a little bit more. Craig, be gentle. Be gentle. It's okay. Be good to yourself, Craig. Buy a second knife, and then it'll be like you sold a dozen. And isn't it easier to say dozen than 14? And then people are like, wait, 40 or 14? Which one do you mean? So just buy another knife, and then it's like you've sold and gotten rid of 12. And that's much easier. Dozen. People get that. Nomadic Adventures says that polished handle looks crisp. This one or this one? Because these are both polished. You know what? I am hoping that, as a matter of fact, I need to get into Ben's ear and hopefully he can use some tortoiseshell on a Jack Wolf knife release. That would just about make my day. Craig Vincent, curious what you're selling. Where did you post them? Hero is not, he's just looking to expand. He's like, yeah. Oh, there are knives for sale? More? Dion Page, hashtag knife math. Indeed, knife math. Okay, let me show you this other really sweet knife I got this past week. As a matter of fact, it came on the same day as my Kaiser Mystic, and this was nice. And I ordered them separately at different times, but it was nice to have them come in at the same day, on the same day. All right. That is this, and I'm very excited about this. Craig Vincent says, I don't have any Rough Riders. Are they good? Should I get one? Which one? Okay, so Craig, this is the beauty of Rough Rider. First of all, they are 100% adequate for my needs. I'm a very light user. I am, so I don't really dull out the knives I have. I do sharpen them, and I have like maybe 2 or 3 knives that I dull because I use them a lot. But on the whole, these Rough Riders, in many cases, have better fit and finish, in my opinion, than case knives. Case knives, however, have really nice and different covers and stuff like that, but so does Rough Rider. Rough Rider is very inexpensive and Chinese made, and will allow you to try out different slip joint patterns, because there are many different patterns, allow you to try out numerous slip joint patterns for a song for very little money, relatively speaking. That's what I like Rough Riders for, and they're fun and they're good to carry, and they're decent knives. They are not in the same stratosphere as other slip joints, but they're pretty awesome. I would try one out. Why not? I mean, what do you stand to lose but $12? You do have to go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works to find them, but give it a try. Why not? See if there's a pattern that you've been curious about. Say you like. Here's one of my favorite. These two happen to be two of my favorite Rough Riders, and this one here is the Sow Belly Trapper. It's beautiful. The bone, this honey bone, is gorgeous. All the fit and finish. There's no gapping. It's all hafted really nice. The polished blades are very nicely polished, super sharp. 420, okay, they're not the greatest steel, but if you know how to sharpen your knives and you're not hard using your knives that aren't meant to be hard used, they're good. I'd check one out. Why not? What pattern are you interested in, and get one? See what it's like. Okay, so the knife that I was going to talk about that I just got that I'm so excited about is the Jimmo Young designed Synergy 4 by Civivi. Hi, still here? Hey, James, how you doing, man? Yes, we're still here for another half hour. Taking a look at knives, and I'm showing off this gorgeous Tanto. I know James is a huge Tanto fan. And yeah, and so I got this. I'm very, very excited about this. I was happy to see when we made their version of this. This is a knife that came out in the early 2000s, maybe late 1990s. But I remember seeing it advertised with red aluminum handles with like splatter paint on the handles, and this and an upswept blade on the back of Tactical Knives magazine. And I always thought they were super cool, designed by someone named Jimmo Young, and then called the Synergy, which was a big buzzword in the 80s and 90s. I hate the word synergy. It just sticks in my craw like smart and other words that not smart like, oh yeah, my daughter's smart, but smart choice. It's smart. Everything's smart. There was a period of time, I know a lot of you guys are old enough to remember the smart era when everything was smart. But anyway, the Synergy, despite its name, is a really badass knife. I mean, this thing is big. This is a 4-inch blade in a 5-inch handle, just about. And the ergonomics are really good. And that upswept Tanto blade is so gorgeous, man. It is beautiful, but the downward angle of it still keeps the point. It's not a trailing point. It's just kind of just north of the center line. And oh God, I personally think this just kind of adds to my collection of really cool Tantos. I don't have a lot of Tantos, but the Tantos I collect are unique and beautiful. And this definitely fits in that. But this knife, as it has smoothed out, the knives with coatings always take a little bit longer, but this has totally whet my appetite for the upswept version that's not the Tanto. Oh, that one looks cool too. And they have 4 versions of it, the 2 different blade shapes, and then they have a gray version and a black version, 2 gray versions and 2 black versions. So man, this thing, I am dazzled by it. I love it. I also love the milling in the handle. The milling in that G10 is gorgeous. It's like you're trying to hypnotize me. I like this peak where the blade is. Long swedge that goes all the way up the spine. Makes it not very comfortable to put your finger on the spine, but the blade is already so thin that even if it were a crowned full width spine and not a swedge, it still wouldn't be that comfortable. So I don't know, maybe full width with jimping would be comfortable, but I don't need it. My thumb, this is really nice for saber grip. I'm not even thinking of this in that Filipino grip because it's so big. I don't know, just kind of Filipino grip it, but right on the handle. And the handle itself, very neutral, very ergonomic. Oh, so nice in the hand. Reverse grip, it's great in this grip too. I mean, it's not a Pikal, but you can still stab with an upswept blade if it's turned around, and probably do a heck of a lot of damage that way. Anyway, that's what this is. This is definitely a tactical style knife anyway. I'm sure most people who get it won't use it that way, but I am just pleased as punch at my 2 recent acquisitions, this and this. And I'm excited especially because I feel like I lost a little bit of excitement for new folders for a little while. I've been getting a lot of fixed blades, and my first love has always been fixed blades, but uh, you know, really it's been following a lot of YouTubers over the last 10 to 13 years that have really gotten me into folders. And recently it's kind of like, all kind of, yeah. But that Mystic moved me definitely. And the Rex 45 was definitely a part of it, knowing that that blade will patina is a big part of it. And then seeing that design finally come out of the hands of come up to a nice size that I like, instead of the 3.25 inch going up to a 4-inch, and then making it by Civivi and making it affordable. Oh my God, I was so excited about this one too. And then I saw Tomas Alas Tactical Tavern do his video with the upswept version. I was like, okay, getting it. I got it, I think, before I even finished the video. So my acquisitions for the week. Did you guys get anything new this week? Anyone get anything new? What was the Nova 1 going for money wise on the pre-order? It was $285 on the pre-order, and part of this has been a learning, well, the whole thing has been a learning experience, and I learned that $285 was not quite enough for me to make any money. And not quite enough. I mean, I made a very, very, very small amount of money. And this was not about making money, obviously. But I was hoping my calculations beforehand were not correct. And now I see what I wasn't taking into account. So very good learning experience. Next time they will cost a little bit more than that. The Nova ones were $285 because each one is handmade. They're custom knives, each one of them. And I gotta say, man, Matt, I mentioned it last week. Matt is really, really consistent, blade to blade to blade. Except for the number difference. Really, they're like so the same. He is a machine. Byron Kennedy says, "Kiss the Kumai Damascus." Kumai Damascus, Mary Damasteel. Okay. Kiss Kumai Damascus. Kumai, what is that now? Is that a Sanmai Damascus hybrid? Mary Damasteel, kill gas station faux print laser patterns, or I would put in there, and this is nothing against the culture, just their knives, the Pakistani Damascus, the kind that makes your hands smell funny. Yeah, I would get rid of that. But I like where you went with this, Byron. Taking it to the Damascus edition. Dion Page says, the button. Who stabbed, slice, chops, stuck / hack that button? Come on. Press the button, people. Presumably, he's talking about the thumbs up button. So frequently we get to the end of this show and I haven't gotten to Life Knife News, things I wanted to talk about, but I do want to talk about this. And that is because this is a purchase in the offing for me, probably a couple of weeks. Not that it's very expensive, but that, I have other expenses. But Jim, let's bring up the Demco Knives one. Hero Stick says, Civivi still got it. Ordered the Cubit today. I want that Cubit, and I want the Vision, and the Warncliffe Banter, and I don't care about that. But yes, I love Civivi. They're my favorite of that group. Okay, so the new line of fixed knives from Demco Knives. This is very exciting. I saw some prototypes at Blade Show that looked basically like this. But these things are beauties. Now there is a large line and a small line, the Armiger line. So the large line, they come in at 4.5-inch blades here, of 80 CRV2. This you see is the clip point. They have a Tanto, and then they have a bayonet ground drop point. So it's a little bit sharp. It's sharp for a little bit on the top. And then they have these little 2.5-inch versions for $20. These little ones are $20. So the Armiger 2 are these little 2-inch bladed knives for your keychains or whatever. And they come in the Shark Lock, the Tanto, and a clip point. One with, so 6 versions, serrated and non-serrated, in those 3 different blades. Same thing with the large ones, they have an all serrated tanto or regular tanto. They have an all serrated clip point or just clip point, and then they have an all serrated, including the back half of the or a third of the backside drop point. So I want to get the drop point with the double edge. These things are very exciting. The fixed blade line now out and growing from Demco knives. We've seen over the past year their first fixed blades. I can't remember the names of those, but these armatures are really awesome, and they're very inexpensive. $80 for a Demco knife. I believe they're made in Taiwan, and you get such variety. I cannot wait. I couldn't help but notice, they using the standard teeth pattern, the sort of standard that everyone uses except for Cold Steel, and I'm used to seeing his designs with the Cold Steel serrations, but obviously this is not Cold Steel. So interesting to see Demco designs with the standard serration pattern. All right, I want to talk about one more Knife Life news story, and then I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of these? The next one is the Benchmade Bailout has a titanium line coming out. And do you care? I don't know. They look nice to me, these bailouts. They look nice, but in that plain Jane titanium, looks very cool. But Benchmade anymore, and I would love to have this knife actually, but Benchmade, they just don't do it for me anymore. They just bug me kind of at this point. With their freaking expensive knives, that integral being $500. Come on. And then these knives and the little aluminum knives, the little colored aluminum Warncliffs, they're so freaking expensive, man. Don't you have a big giant factory? It's not like you're in your garage making these Benchmades. You got a big ass facility. You should be able to pump these out for less. But anyway, I think that this looks cool. It's a nice change. I have liked the bailout from afar because I love my bug out. So I've always had a feeling I would love this knife too. So I am definitely conflicted by the brand. I when they come out with something I like, I feel like, yeah, but what's the catch? And that's just me. I know. I'm sort of a Benchmade hater for no particular reason. I haven't been burned personally by any Benchmade I've had, but I kind of have always felt like maybe a little resentful that all the public safety people I know always are like, Benchmade. Oh yeah, Benchmade. That's a real knife. Ah, yeah, that bugs me. But anyway, what do you think? Benchmade, titanium, and anyone interested? Is that something that gets people going? Bob, curious, your initial thoughts on seeing the Kel Neves collab? Oh, I'm very excited. Sorry. My nose is itching like mad now. I'm very excited. I'm excited for a number of reasons. First of all, I like that collaborative spirit. I like that Tim's business is expanding, and this is something he can do, and that's how I'm doing it with him also. But taking the selfish part out of it, I like that he's doing a straight up karambit. He's flirted with the karambit. I'm talking about Tim Kell. In the different grips he has. I mean, well, he's got a lot of knives with the ring already, and then he's got for knives that don't have the ring, he's got grips that include a G10 ring. So he's very much a ring dude. Oh, I almost put my finger Filipino style on this. He's very much a ring knife maker. He makes a lot of knives with rings. So I'm glad he's making a karambit. Jared Neve, I know he's a total badass, like in real life. And I'm sure a karambit in his hands would be absolutely devastating. I think it's a cool design, so I'm excited about it. I like both of those people very much, and I like the design. For me personally, I would have double-edged it. I would have double-edged it because, that angle, I like that sort of extreme angle on a karambit, but it also, to me, is really crying out for a secondary edge if you're gonna do that. And a secondary edge doesn't have to be keen, razor sharp. It can be like, a zero ground splitting edge where you hit someone with it and it splits the skin. It's not necessarily cutting. Never Enough Knives 007 says, "What's on your wrist tonight, Bob?" This is a Casio Duro. This is the $60 or $50 actually dive watch. It's what is it? ISO rated or whatever. 200-meter dive watch made by Casio that is watch snob proof. I'm told. I love this thing. It is awesome, and I set it to the second on my iPhone, and it has remained so far after 2 weeks. It has remained nuts on to the second. This thing is very accurate so far, and I am pleased to hear I put this under there. Very pleased about that. And of course, this has the Pepsi bezel with the blue and the red, but this also comes with a green bezel, and then it comes with a blue bezel with a blue face, or a black bezel with a black face. That's the standard. It's very, very nice watch, very inexpensive, and it wears. It's a pretty big watch. If you don't like large size watches, it's pretty big. But I have somewhat thin wrists at 6 3/4, and I think it's fine on my wrist. Craig says, "NAF sale, big knife dump, lot of 14. Some good knives in there. I'm too lazy to sell them individually. Plus, I need more cold steel." I hear that. The fake Demko is in there. Earlier comment, a typo. It's a 20.5. I got you. Easier to fake for sure. Craig says the mayhem is why I'm dumping knives. Yes, sir. I want to get that mayhem. Five Door says, I got the small armature today. Clip point serrated. Very cool for $20. The large looks far better for actual use. Ooh, yeah. All right. Armature. Drop point, double edge. Dion Page says the new Cold Steel USA made fixed 5-inch fixed blade looks killer. Yes, it does. It does. What's it called? It's called the resolution. The something slightly political, something slightly like legislative. Help me. Craig says, I have about 50 cold steels, but I don't have an XL Espada or a Mayhem. Well then, Craig, you got nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Get that XL Espada though. You'll be glad you did. And I see them with some frequency. The G10 version for affordable, or guess I should say I have in the past on eBay. You can find them. Hero Stick says there are a few new Benchmades I'd like to try. I just feel like their price point is super inflated. I agree, Hero. Too many other amazing alternatives for less. Exactly. And there's no fidget incentive. It's not like you're going to go there now to get an Axis lock. So Craig says, I have exactly one Benchmade, the Presidio 2. I like the bigger knives. Yeah, the Presidio, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like some of the knives. I like someone mentioned the 945. I like that. I like the Contigo, even though it's not the most comfortable. Like that was a great, great cutting knife. Yeah, I like some of the automatics. I love the CLA. Is that what it's called? What is that? Composite light automatic. Yeah, I mean, they do have some cool knives, but so many of them look the same that it just bugs me. Hero says, for some reason, their brand feels arrogant. I think the reason is the amount of money they charge, that the $500 for that damn integral, way too much. Not a huge Benchmade fan, said Snow Track. Now I sit here with certainty sipping my coffee saying, way too much for that knife. Now, I don't know that. Frankly, I've never run a knife company, and certainly not out of the Northwest. I'm sure that has its challenges. But I've never run a business. I've never run a knife business. So who knows? Maybe to make that integral in the Northwest, maybe it really does take that much money to do but man, Bob, been doing that disco dust. Yeah, that's right. That disco dust. You talking about booger sugar? You talk about some of that Bolivian marching powder? You talk about some of that. What is that? Michael Knowles. I don't know if you ever listened to him, but he's a conservative radio guy or a podcaster. And anytime he brings up cocaine, like if he's talking about the president's son, he doesn't just say cocaine. He says like 5 to 6 different like funny little things like that, like what you had, the disco dust. You talk about the disco dust. You talk about the booger sugar, the old Bolivian marching powder, whatever he says. Gus Beck, what's up, junkies? Gus, what's up with you, man? Just finished work and driving home, listening to my favorite show. That's awesome. Thank you, man. I used my 3V bailout all day. Okay, we were just talking about that. I'm not sure if you heard, we were talking about the bailout in titanium that's coming out. I have Applied Weapons Technology aluminum scales on it, and it's a great utility knife. I like those AWT scales. They saved my mini Griptilian years ago. Love them. Gus, I'm not too hyped about that titanium bailout, though, he says. Yeah, well, you're not getting any of the that nice texture and that contouring you get on the aluminum version. It's just kind of flat. Dion Page, that's a good looking watch. I have a left wrist. I'd wear it if I had a left wrist. I'd wear that bad boy, says Dion. Dion's missing his left wrist. I did not know that. Well, that does. If you got a right wrist, it might be hard to put on though. Nomadic Adventures, do you Rolex got it start as a sport and scuba watch? Could get that at PX for $100. Do you Rolex got it start as sport and I'm not sure exactly. Could get that at the PX for $100. Yeah. I would love to get a Rolex someday. I would love a Rolex Daytona. To me, that's like, ooh, that's so nice. But I'm not Rolex money. I don't have Rolex money. Because really, Republic. Thank you. The Republic. That's the knife, the American made cold steel knife. If I did have Rolex money, would I spend that money on a Rolex? Well, I don't know. What is Rolex money? Rolex money is having so much money that you do not feel it when you spend $20,000 on a watch. And so if I had that much money, who knows? I probably would. Edgy American, what's up, Shane? Nice to have you, man. Hey, guys. Hello, Bob and Jim. Well, hello to you, good sir. Hope you're doing well. Have a nice day says, I got a Spadas, which include the XL, but the Mayhem isn't doing it for me. Now, I got to say, the Mayhem I'm going to get. But the Mayhem to me is ham-fisted in its design. It's a little cartoonish looking. And you might say, well, Bob, aren't all, 6-inch bladed folders cartoonish looking? And I get your point, but no. I'm talking about the proportions and the lines and maybe not the dimensions, but the proportions and the lines of the design are swashbuckling and they're sort of cartoonish. They look like a knife you might draw in the hands of some comic book bad guy. But that's also appealing to me. So I'm looking forward to getting that. I really what turned the page for me, and I don't know if you had if you checked it out at Blade Show, Michael, but was seeing it at Blade Show. I thought really changed my mind about that knife. Yeah, and swinging it in and out with that lock. Woo, that's a big blade. Nomadic Adventure says Rolex got their start and was made as a sports and divers watch, right? And they actually manufactured the first Panerai watches for the Italian frogmen during World War II, and then Panerai started making their own. Could get them at the PX for $100 when they first came out. Can you imagine that? Same watch, 2.4 million at auction, unopened. Whoa. That's so cool, man. Watches are very interesting to me. I've been going down that rabbit hole with videos. I don't plan on spending that money or having a collection like I do with knives. I mean, I couldn't afford it, but also it's just I can only be like shamelessly materialistic about one thing, and it's got to be knives. Craig says, I've been sharpening the past year. I've been doing it for friends and family. I'm all over the place between DMT freehand plates and Ken Onion belt grinder. I'm about to go to a 1x30. Very nice, Craig. That's awesome. If you have a little business or whatever, let us know what it is. And maybe next weekend, come on and tell us about it. Go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/join next week, not this week, because we're about to close. And I don't like it when people come on right at the end because I can't give them my best. Have a Knife Day says, I'm a big fan. Oh, I'm sorry. A big fan. Oh, yes. Of the Adamas line. Own several to include the fixed in crew wear. Yes. I also like the Adamas. I don't have one. I would love to change that. But that to me is because I love Shane Sibbert's designs. He could design. I mean, I've never seen a knife of his that I don't like. Check out his custom work if you haven't seen it. Edgy American says, Benchmade has priced themselves out of relevancy. I agree 100%. Plus, they don't make anything as good as the Mannix. And it all looks the same. Nomadic Adventures. Hunter was on video smoking crack 5 years. Coke found in White House. Wonder who it might be. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Craig Vincent, last week, a fellow I know was showing off his mini bug out in carbon fiber. I did a mic drop and pulled out the Presidio out of my pocket. Very nice. I like that. It's like when you absolutely have to emasculate every Benchmade owner in the room. I guess if you had to do that, you'd pull out an Adamas. Nomadic Adventure says Rolex fact. Excuse me. They actually increase in value as if you can actually want a new Rolex. There's a waiting list going up 14 years. Why the used market is so big. You know what's kind of interesting though? A buddy of mine from our neighborhood has a Rolex Datejust Oyster Perpetual, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't know all the models, but it's kind of like standard Rolex Datejust with the Jubilee bracelet. Anyway, he bought that in the late 90s, and all the watch cases back then were smaller, and now that's less desirable, and he's been having trouble. He knowing that you can get more, that Rolexes appreciate. He's been trying to reap the benefits of that, but is having difficulty because it's currently an unpopular case size. It's a little bit too small for what people like these days. So he's going to sit on it for, more years until smaller watches come back. I mean, watches are starting to come back down a little bit, but anyway, Craig Vincent says 6 inches is 6 inches, even in cartoons. No doubt. It's that curvy blade with that clip that really gets him. The Mayhem definitely is not as eloquent as the Espada. Definitely not. I mean, you can tell Demko designed the Espadas, and they're freaking beautiful. And Andrew Demko is an incredible designer. And I'm not saying that the designers at Cold Steel aren't, but you can imagine that designing a Cold Steel knife is kind of like writing a sitcom. It doesn't happen with one author. There's a design team, probably, just like there's a writing team, as opposed to a one-man show or that Bolivian a one-man show or what have you. It's going to be a different thing. And that's the other thing about the Mayhem, I guess. Maybe it looks like a group project. You know what I mean? It looks a little bit like that. That's interesting. I guess I wouldn't have thought about that until you mentioned that. Fernando Salome says Midway USA selling the Mayhem S35EN for $280. See, when I get it, I'm not getting the S35, and I'll say because I don't need it. I don't need it. I could have all of my large cold steels in AUS 8. Thank God I don't. But for how I use them, that would be totally adequate. So just like when I got the Natchez Bowie, I got it in the 14 or 4134, whatever it's called, the cheap steel, the 4034 stainless steel, cheap steel, knowing that I don't need 3V. I'm not going to be A, batoning wood with this, and B, I'm not going to be going and clashing blades on the dueling ground with this. This is just for my own, gratification, and so the cheaper steel will do me just fine. I love this knife. Craig says my first trip to NYC, I bought a Rolex for $5. Yeah, I know that guy. He was down on Canal Street. It was 1980. I was 18 years old. I bought it, brought it to work the next day. They laughed at me all damn day. Oh, I love that. I love that. Look, guys. I had a funny experience. I've talked about this before. I was in Madison Square Park, which was the park closest to my apartment I lived with my wife. And I was walking somewhere, and this girl runs up to me. I'm pretty sure she had gotten off a bus, and she looked like hipster, like in the 50s vibe. That was a thing. And she runs up to me. She's like, "Hey, mister, which way's Broadway?" Just like that. And I was like, "Are you joking?" And she wasn't. I was like, "Oh, it's that street right there." She ran over. But it was funny. It was very New York. "Hey, mister, which way to Broadway?" Guys and Dolls. I was just singing I Got the Horse Right Here before. Gonna cut out. Guys and Dolls, gonna cut out. Everyone have a great weekend. Thanks, Bob and Jim. Bye. Byron, have an awesome night. Keep your eyes peeled for that tracking number and your Nova 1. I got the horse right here. His name is Paul Revere, and it's on your way to your house. Blade Ogre says, thanks for this awesome show, Bob and Jim. Night all, and have a great weekend. Blade Ogre, have an awesome weekend. One and all, awesome weekends to all of you. Please enjoy and be safe. Not safe to the point of not doing stuff, but keep your eyes peeled and watch out for people. Not only the bad people, but watch out for people who might need a hand. And I'm not trying to preach, but it's easy to get stuck because I do it all the time, to get stuck in your bubble. We were talking in the car today about how rude people are to one another. And I was like, they aren't. They are online and they are in their cars. Look at how I talk to people when I'm in the car. I'm a foul mouth, terrible. I never talk to people like that in person. So I don't know. I was just trying to convince myself to come out of that little bubble I can get into in the car where like everyone sucks and all that. Just calm down. It's all good. Craig says, I agree. Espada and Mayhem are two different expressions of large power blades. Espada, more elegant. Mayhem, brute force. Both awesome. Craig, I like you. You're a diplomat. That's a good way of putting it. And that's good enough reason for me. Later, everyone. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Keep your eyes peeled. And you already have your number, so you know when it's coming. Night all, says Craig. Craig, have an awesome night. Have a nice day. Have an awesome knife. His name is Paul Revere. Yeah. I love that. I can do. Have a great weekend, junkies, says Never Enough Knives 007. I will. You too, man. And LP Knives, woosa, he says. Oh, have a nice night. Nomadic Adventures says, night, fellow junkies, Nomadic Adventures. You have an awesome weekend. One and all, have an awesome weekend. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, please don't take dull for an answer.